What's up, Lucid Crew? Tis I, Lucid Rob. Today we're gonna look so dumb. Today we're gonna look at more videos that you send me and try to figure out what the heck's going on, man. There's a lot of weird stuff going on. If you've been here before, you know what's going on. If you haven't been here before, just stick around. We're gonna watch some stuff. We're gonna talk about it. What the?
The Vatican is tracking gargoyle-like extraterrestrials that devour humans. William Tompkins was an aerospace engineer and Douglas Aircraft and US Navy whistleblower. In Selected by Extraterrestrials, he describes how he was recruited into a meeting with high-ranking members of the Catholic Church, who proceeded to disclose to him something called the Secret Vatican Files. These files consisted of a myriad of detailed documents and photographs of aliens, which were being tracked by the Vatican. Among the hundreds of case reports were those which described gargoyle-like entities that were part hairy man-like and part animal. These entities could stand but ran like dogs, had horse heads with large fang-like teeth, and orange-red insect eyes. They were reported to devour small children, dogs, cats, and other animals live. These countless beings were allegedly being meticulously tracked by hundreds of monks and priests. Why is it that the Vatican had such a vested interest in tracking these demonic ETs? Follow me for more hidden knowledge.
No, thank you. It's a hard pass from me. One might even say, nope.
We messed up. Big time. See, this is the Golden Record, a shiny disc filled with information about the human race. Naturally, we shot it into space with the intent for aliens to find it. But was this a bad idea? See, the Golden Record includes some pretty wholesome information about humans. There's pictures of us eating, drinking, pictures of technology we've created, and there's even a photo of an astronaut in space. But here's where it gets creepy. We've also included exact diagrams of our very biology, pretty much teaching aliens precisely how to dismantle us. What's even crazier is we've given aliens details on how to get to Earth, a literal map. So not only have we told aliens exactly what our weaknesses are, we've also told them how to come and find us. Now sure, I get it. The whole thing is really poetic and hopeful. We come in peace and all that. But what if aliens are like us? See, we aren't exactly the most peaceful species. To me, this disc is the cosmic equivalent of posting your address on the internet, giving out your social security number, and then showing a diagram on exactly how easily your legs can break. Not only are we now dead, but it's also entirely our fault. So
you guys ever hear about the lost library of Nineveh?
No, I have not.
So Ashurbanipal was the last great king of the Neo-Assyrian Empire, ruling from Nineveh from 668 to 627 BC. This dude was obsessed with understanding everything, so he founded this library in Nineveh, which wasn't discovered until the mid-19th century by a British Austin Henry Layard, and he found over 30,000 tablets.
Jeez.
That's where we found the Epic of Gilgamesh.
Oh my gosh.
But what's fascinating is that the stuff that they did find rewrote a lot of Middle Eastern history. They talked about old war campaigns, kings that no one has ever heard of.
Wow.
But then there's thousands of these tablets talking about advanced astrology.
Wow.
That they said in today's standards is still very advanced.
That's amazing.
And what's creepy, Ashurbanipal claimed to possess access to knowledge from before the flood, suggesting he may have been aware of ancient, perhaps lost or suppressed knowledge. I have studied inscriptions from before the flood. I can solve intricate divisions, multiplications, mathematics, and writing.
I was out of focus there a little bit. Sorry about that. I couldn't stop coughing. I was choking on my energy drink here. But yeah, there's no doubt, not a question, that there was life, their civilization before the flood. I'm not just talking about like Noah and like his four sisters or his grandpa and kids that helped him build the ark or anything. I'm talking about like advanced civilizations that were around that had probably some better understanding of some aspects, probably not everything. You could be like a more advanced civilization in some areas, but behind in others, depending on like what your focus is, what your priorities are and stuff. In the same way I feel about like humans and other aliens. If aliens were to come here for a reason to harvest some sort of thing or learn something from us, people are like, well, if they're advanced enough to get here, there's nothing we can provide them. That's not true necessarily. I mean, when the English came to the Americas, they still traded things with the natives, even though they had better technology and more advanced weaponry and stuff. Like, we still got stuff from the natives. It's all about like priorities, how you prioritize your life, where you excel at, what you decide to develop, so on and so forth. Now I'm just rambling.
This might be the last time you hear this before TikTok is banned, and they don't want you to know why. The Book of Enoch was lost, hidden, forbidden. It reveals secrets about angels, the Watchers, and a world before the flood that defies everything we've been told. Why was this book removed? Why does it speak of an age where angels took human wives and created something never meant to exist? This book holds answers that may be too dangerous for the world to hear, but now You have the chance.
Right. Now let's think about things on a global scale. Any of you know the gunpowder formula? Can you make penicillin? Do you know how to take crude oil and turn it into gasoline? Is there anything at all you could give these poor dumb schmoes from the past, huh? Come on, think. Use your brain and start like parasites. For example, to generate electricity, all you need is an orange or a potato. It would be enough to stick a small golden cross along with a silver spoon into it for these two contacts to produce 2 volts. Did you know that?
Actually, yes, I do. I used to not know that, but a previous video sponsor sent me a book on how to rebuild civilization. I'll add the link down below in the description. Just use code LucidRob to save 10%. It's awesome. So yeah, I do know how to do all that. Now you can also know how to do all those things. You can also buy some of my merch. The link is also down there.
In Genesis 1:1, it is a mistranslation to say, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. That is not what it says in Hebrew. It says, in the beginning, Elohim created the universe, or created the heavens and the earth. Elohim is God in the plural, more than one. That's why later on in Genesis 2, God says, come, let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. There is the one way that we understand that. God is saying to someone, let's make a creature called man, and we'll make him to look like us or have our attributes or whatever. Or it could be saying, come, let us make man in our image, according to our likeness, implying that man's already here. So someone is stepping in, intervening in our evolution and saying, let's take man and make him in our image. Now, let's fix him, because right now he's progressing, but it's going to take him another 1,000,000 years to figure out what's going on.
So Anunnaki, y'all. Multiple gods. But were they gods? Were they really gods, or were they just aliens? Were they just like another advanced species that basically like presented themselves as gods? Who knows, man? Who knows? I don't think anybody does. Some people are pretty confident about having the answer one way or the other, but I have no idea.
A hybrid breach. We called the subject Riven, part human, part arachnid, fused with something we found during a dig near the ruins of Göbekli Tepe. The thing moved like time didn't apply to it. Glitches in motion, a blur of fangs and clicking joints. It killed 17 personnel in under 4 minutes. The emergency lockdown failed. That's when the prototypes came. 3 of them. No words, no hesitation. They entered the corridor, deployed something that didn't look like a weapon. It looked like a concept. Light bent around it. Reality shuddered. Riven screamed, not in fear, but in recognition, like it knew what they were, what they had become. It tried to run. It didn't make it 2 steps. Afterward, there was no body, no remains, just a lingering smell of ozone and burnt metal, and a faint hum, like distant chanting heard through water.
Who were the prototypes, and what exactly happened to Riven?
I once asked one of the Neurocom's techs what they saw on the internal feed before it blacked out. Her hands shook. She wouldn't look at me. She just said, they didn't kill Riven. They deleted him, like a bad thought. But to answer your question, the prototypes are defense units, emergency use only, fail-safes in case of a catastrophic breach. But unofficially, only 3 exist.
That'd be so cool if these like fictional creepypasta stories were all actually real. There's some wild ones. I mean, obviously there's wild fiction. There's always been wild fiction. I'm an avid sci-fi and fantasy reader. I love it. There's wild, crazy fictional stories. But like if these specific ones that people made these videos out of were actually real and actually came from like some classified archive, it's crazy to think that there would be like crazy beings underground that are like extremely violent and scary under Göbekli Tepe, and that there are cyborg human human cyborgs designed to fight them off, and it's all just happening as like a big secret. It'd be sick. It's terrifying, but it's sick.
Tartaria was everywhere, and history as we know it has been completely fabricated. At first we thought maybe the Dark Ages were just poorly documented, but it turned out they were invented to push many events further into the past. We realized that it wasn't just small parts of history that might be wrong, everything was made up. One of the most fascinating things is the architecture we find all over the world. In almost every city, there are old Gothic-style buildings with incredibly intricate designs. People see them and say, oh, that's just how they built back then. But some of these buildings are absolutely stunning. Think about it. If we lived in a feudal society where everyone worked just to survive, how would anyone have had the time, resources, or motivation to build something so elaborate and functional? These buildings weren't just practical structures. They were free energy generators, artistic expressions. They were designed to be both functional and beautiful, to celebrate what was being created. But we don't build like that anymore. The complexity and beauty of these structures are clues that we didn't live under the same pay-to-survive system we're trapped in now. Tartaria was a global civilization, incredibly advanced and powered by free energy, likely based on etheric energy. It existed until about 200 to 250 years ago, and its destruction came soon after. We have been lied to all this time.
My allergies are destroying me today. I love the Tartaria theory. As much as it saddens me and pains me to think that that actually happened, just so, people could make money off charging for free resources like they do water, which I get it. They clean, they filter water and stuff. You're paying for that service when it comes to like municipal water running into your home. But when it comes to like free energy, like there's just things that we shouldn't have to pay for. And I know a lot of people think that we shouldn't have to pay for anything. Well, that's unrealistic in my opinion. But there's some things you shouldn't have to pay for: water, electricity, things like that. So just to think that that was like taken from us, our entire history was destroyed and in order to cover it up just to monetize it, is as infuriating as it is disappointing when it comes to my faith in humanity. But the actual story and thought of the Tartarian Empire is awesome. So cool.
This happened in Mexico. Little girl is possessed by demon possible exorcist.
El que habita al abrigo Padre, el que habita morará Padre.
Hey guys, I found one. I found a nope. It's been a while, but we got one. Nope, absolutely not. Honestly though, as much as I hate that stuff, if it was just like a small possessed child that wasn't trying to harm me, she just yelling "shut up" to me over and over and over again, bro, I would elbow. I'd be just dropping elbows, just like a little, just hammer fist, smack her around with the crucifix a little bit. It's a little less scary. It's like being attacked by Chucky. Like, just kick the shit out of Chucky. Boom, just football, just Charlie Brown that month.
We need to investigate everybody who worked on Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Because somebody who was in that room is a time traveler, and I am sure of that. If I were to tell you 13 years ago a game developer would predict the future, you'd probably call me crazy, right? But stay with me. You see, Black Ops 2 was released in November of 2012, and in every single Call of Duty game, there's a campaign. And in the campaign of Black Ops 2, China and the United States are in a Cold War. But why exactly did China and the United States get into a Cold War? As it says right here, it's because China stopped exporting rare earth elements, which is something that sounds ridiculously insane, like that would never happen. Only yesterday, that's what China did. You may be thinking, oh my gosh, this is a reach. It's a video game who said sometime in the future this would all happen. But it gets even crazier when you realize when Black Ops 2 was set. Because in this video game, it's not set in 2012. In fact, it is set in the year 2025. As in the year 2025 that we are in. Meaning that 13 years ago, the game development team that was building Black Ops 2 accurately predicted all of this down to the exact year that this is happening.
Okay, that's actually pretty wild. I would say The Simpsons did it a bunch of times, but to actually have such like an obscure event happening and then having the year of it as well, it's a little sus. That's all I'm gonna say. It's a little sus. Makes you think that everything's written and maybe the script leaked and the developers like found it on the dark web or something randomly. It's like, oh, that's a great idea, and just like went with it. I don't know. That's America, yeah, coming again to save the motherfucking day, yeah. But regardless of rare earth elements and minerals and spices and tea parties and Cold Wars and all that stuff, just take care of yourself, take care of you, take care of your loved ones. Just make sure you're taken care of, because you can't help others if you're not doing well yourself, right? So don't let all this stuff stress you out. The media is making it worse than it is. No matter who's running the show, no matter who's in power, no matter what's happening, it's always going to be churched up, right? They're always going to try to trump it up and make it seem worse than it is to scare us, because fear is profitable. Whether it be war, whether it be us preparing for something, going out and buying literally all the toilet paper. Like, these companies and the media thrives on our panicking. So just relax. Just just cool it. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen regardless. And freaking out about it isn't going to change the outcome. If anything, it's just going to make it a lot harder to survive whatever happens. So stay cool. Be chill. Hope you enjoy the video. Like, subscribe to the channel. Comment below what you want to see in the next one. Let me know what was your favorite clip from this video. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.